Rowan was just going to sleep, and she just said that she could feel the bed was really hot, and she felt the wood next to it and said it was burning. So we quickly got her out of bed and had a look at the batteries. You can smell the batteries have been boiling up. They're really hot and they're kind of swollen in parts. So Woody's turned off the battery charger. So that obviously wasn't regulating it, so I don't really know why. One of those things, yet to sort of work out what the problem is, but I think our batteries are fried.
I'm just fed up with it. I just want to go to bed and wake up back in the UK and not have to deal with any of this, because I've had enough really. So today we're going to the Naval Museum with the kids. It's kind of like a field trip, a break from the homeschooling and get out and about a bit.
You and me, we're family. The bond that we share is as deep as the sea. No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing ho, hey, long for the ride. Ho, hey, I'll stay by your side. Ho.
We're in the Naval Museum in Cartagena, which basically takes you through the history of Colombia through the eyes of the sea, from the early sort of conquistador days of invasion right up to the modern day, where Colombia won its independence and its participation in naval warfare ever since. So it's been interesting. Yeah, we had an English-speaking guide, but obviously he was wearing the mask, so we couldn't really hear everything he was saying, and the kids got a bit bored and went off. But
they were good sailors.
And the mosquitoes were particularly pesky, which ironically was what did the invaders in, particularly the British invaders. Mosquitoes carried a lot of disease and pestilence and actually killed off more people than the warfare did.
So they entered the bay, but they were bitten by mosquitoes. And each day, 20 or 30 Englishmen died because of mosquitoes biting.
Yeah.
And Cartagena is there. And they were desperate and they wanted to take over the castle.
But it's been interesting, and although I'm not sure how much of the kids absorbed, they've enjoyed going on the simulations inside the submarine and playing war games.
Off to the gritty market to get fruit and veg. Aren't we, Wade?
Yeah, we are. We're excited. We're going to go get a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables for the passage to San Blas.
Yeah, because we're not sure how accessible that sort of stuff is. So this is the little taxi that we're squeezed into, and we're kind of trying to provision for 4 boats in this taxi. This is hilarious in itself. This is the man.
Have a lot of watermelons on our lap.
Yeah. Taxi guy is going to wait there for us, and we're going to go and hit this market. This is Mary looking beautiful as usual. She's a beautiful lady. I don't know. I don't think they waste it.
How do you pick the good ones?
Joe knows exactly what he's doing.
No, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, I feel like they're green peppers.
I would wait a bit actually, wouldn't you? Oh, no, it might be okay. Yeah. We're going from Colombia to Panama. We don't know what the prices are and what you can get in Panama. I think it's okay, but Colombia's pretty good. So we're always thinking one step ahead when you're shopping. You're always thinking where you're going to be next and what they're going to have or not have. Okay, we seem to be going a little bit further into the market. See what we can find. That's definitely the sausage shop. So this is where we're going to get our bananas from.
12. 50.
50 bananas.
Oh, there's 50 bananas for 12,000.
You're joking me. Okay, let's just split those.
This is the meat section. Meat section stinks. We've got everything you could possibly want and a very full trolley, and this guy's trolley is amazing. I can't believe how much stuff it's got in it, and I can't believe it's actually going to get us to the taxi again, but here we go. Yeah, it's time to head out. We've got everything to last us for weeks now on board our boat. If we can't find any shops, we've got it here. So that's it, market day done. It's kind of like, you know, it's really touching when you see the faces of all the people that are pushing the trolleys and just getting from A to B and the struggle in their faces.
I shouldn't have eaten those donuts last night, you know?
Yeah, it's Joe's fault, but there's a really strange sound coming from the wheels, and I think it's a suspension, and it just feels like any minute it's just going to collapse. But you know, if he hadn't had those donuts, it would have been fine.
Joe.
Sorry, you guys. I mean, the bread here in Colombia is really
Yeah, it is actually.
I put on like 12 pounds.
Yeah, so, and apart from that, I've also got about 100 oranges, 4 massive melons, and kind of enough vegetables and fruit to feed kind of 3 villages.
Yeah.
So,
No joke, yeah.
yeah, so that's also adding to the weight.
It's like in the...
We did go to a salsa club one night, and I love salsa dancing, and it turns out, well, Woody doesn't really like it, but it turns out he's pretty good, because he did have quite a few goes at doing some really cool salsa moves.
All of the batteries are overheating, so I've immediately switched off the battery charger and shore power, and I'm just taking some readings now to try and work out if the batteries are kind of running away or whether they're cooling down. We've got a fan on them to try and cool them down, but I'm going to take a reading every 5 or 10 minutes just to make sure that they are cooling down, and then we've got a major problem on our hands because it's probably the battery charger is knackered, and we've possibly lost the battery bank as well because they've all distorted with the heat, which is very expensive and bad news.
Okay, so the batteries are really flat, even though they don't look flat. And I think that fridge has been off for a few days, so I'm trying to rescue the food.
I've fully charged them now. I'm just taking the voltage reading just to see if they hold the charge or not. And the temperature on some of them has risen by 5 centigrade, which suggests they're not very healthy. But I'm kind of 90% sure it's the battery charger that's at fault because it's been intermittent. The display's been intermittent for the last few months. But now there's no way of diagnosing any problems because we can't get to the display. So if there are any error codes there, we can't see them. And it looks like it's cooked our batteries and we might need a whole new battery bank.
Okay, so we have finally an electrician has turned up and he's testing the batteries.
what he's doing is just removing the worst batteries to take them out of the bank, because they're obviously having an effect on the other ones. And so we're just jigging things around at the moment to try and make up a sort of a semi-reliable battery bank until we can get the new batteries.
Because this is good, but this is bad.
How's you doing this morning?
Tired of school.
Tired of school. Is it hot too?
Yeah,
so it's really hot here in Colombia, and it doesn't make schooling any easier because it's so hot. Situation with the fridge now. So I first thought was, oh, the fridge is broken, but then I realised obviously we had a battery problem. Just been trying to put a bit of charge in just to keep that freezer going, really, and try to keep basic things going.
So I've been to the battery centre. It's about an hour round trip by foot. I could have taken a taxi, but the roads are so chaotic and flooded today that I don't think it would have been much quicker. But the guys there were really friendly and helpful, as everybody is in Colombia actually. And but we couldn't quite find the right batteries. They were either physically too big, or they weren't AGM deep cycle batteries. We found some Bosch batteries which were kind of an almost fit, but we could probably squeeze 6 in there. But it's not an ideal situation, so I'm going to head back to the boat now and then remeasure. Yeah, it's just been another one of those days. And yesterday I thought it was sorted out, and then it was like back to square one. So been to the battery centre, nothing there. So honestly, it's so easy when you're back home. You just kind of click online, order exactly what you want, and it turns up the next day. It's definitely not like that here. I mean, okay, it's not an ideal situation, but things about walking around these places, you know, so you actually see everyday life, you know, like people just working on the cars or getting the shopping in, you know, and it's kind of you do get to see a part of the place. It's a bit unusual. What we decided to do is get half a battery bank of the cheaper batteries, the cheaper AGMs, to get us to Panama, or through the sandblast and onto Panama. They've arrived. Unfortunately, all of our friends have already left because they got sick of waiting around and they finished their job, so they've gone. So we're going to be catching them up later. So tonight at 7 o'clock I've got the electrician coming to help me install them, and then we can be on the way with half a battery bank, but at least we can go.
The full story of our horrifying battery meltdown is found on my dad's sorry channel, Mothership Maintenance.
New batteries. I like the colour. Green batteries, and they're nice and cool because normally we have to keep trying them and they get really hot. They're the ones before, the old ones.
In the next vlog, we sail to Paradise, also known as the Sandblast, to catch up with our friends.
A big thanks for watching, and especially thanks to our patrons who make these videos possible. If you'd like to become part of the Patreon family, then follow the link in the description below, or just put Mothership Adrift Patreon and I'll take you to the right place. We would really love to hear from you, so if you'd like to leave comments, then go to our Facebook.
No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing ho.
Thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing, and don't forget we have another channel which is dedicated to boat maintenance called Mothership Maintenance, so it'd be great if you subscribe to that too. Thank you.
Alright.